they're talking every day, but at the end of 7 to 10 days, they're going to have a longer conversation and see where they can sort of advance them to. And then they'll do it again after the next 7 to 10 days. So right now you'll see him on the ice with UC a lot, just doing movement stuff, and eventually work into where he's taking some shots and more shots and then joining the team.
What do you need to see from Jack Drury to decide that he's going to be your third line center?
I need to see him outplay the other guys that we're considering for the third line center. So, I love the way Jack plays. I think he has underrated skill. We'll see. It'll come down to chemistry, like I said yesterday, right? Like he's a good player. I have no question he can go in and play third line center for us. He's an elite fourth line center, in my opinion, for us last year. So if he can find chemistry with a couple other guys that we're going to use on the third line, then he's going to get a good look. We'll also check Ross Colton there, like I said. Then we'll look at some of the young guys for that 4-hole, and maybe even possibly Kelly as well.
It's hard to get a feel on day one, but you mentioned playing Svamolinski on that left side. What are you kind of saying?
Yeah, like today, I want to see him in the games, right? Like I'm going to evaluate him on his gameplay. Sam's a good player for us. He's played really well on the right side. He's played some shifts on the left side. We need someone to move over there permanently. So right now, I'd really like it to be him.
You kind of went through with Byram too, moving him to his offside and evaluating it. Like, how long of a leash do you give a guy?
Long.
Curve there?
It'll be long, yeah, because he's in our top 6, right? And G's not on the ice right now. Hopefully he's ready for the start of the year, but we just need someone to play over there. Burns has never played over there. I don't want to be moving a guy that's wily veteran and really good at what he does. So Sam makes the most sense. So, but it'll be a long leash. Like it can take time, and I just hope he's as effective over there as he was on the right side for us last year.
You had Bardakov in that spot that might be the 4C today. He's been in Colorado for a while, and he's a big guy. Like, what have you kind of seen from him?
I didn't know him at all. Okay, like I've watched minimal highlight clips, part of a couple games last year. That's it. I just know that we're looking for a guy in that role. He's big, he's strong, he can skate, he's a responsible guy. Kind of fits the mold of what we're looking for there. As does Prish, as does Ivan. There's two more young guys that have played for us. Prish was playing mostly wing last year, but he's a natural centerman, so we're going to give all 3 of those guys a long look there amongst other people.
Coming out of the rookie tournament, what was your assessment of Rick Fishman Humphreys as a player?
Humphreys?
Yes.
I thought he had a great rookie tournament. Yeah. Like that line, so it was him, I can't remember how you pronounce the other guy's name. He was on a tryout, scored 2 goals in the first game. But I thought that line was super effective. I thought actually when you kind of break it down, the amount of time they spent in the offensive zone, the scoring chances they created, they played with a different winger on the second night, but they were a good line. I liked him a lot. Now it's just a matter, can he, like with the ramped up pace, bigger bodies, and our guys, can he continue to play that way through our camp?
Jack did say, whether he's the third center or the fourth center, it doesn't change how he plays, more so like depending on who his wings are. But like the way your team is set up, he might have some pretty good offensive-minded wings playing next to him. So do you need to see him play a little bit differently than, like you said, like how
I don't want him to play differently.
Okay.
I want, take the Drury, Kelly, O'Connor line. It's one of the best lines in the playoffs for the whole league, right? I think they were ranked 7th in expected goals for percentage in the whole league when playoffs ended. Certainly a dominant line in the Dallas series. Very consistent at what they do. They're just not going to finish their chances as often as other lines will. They're actually created more than some of our other lines, right? The hope is that you get him up and he plays the same way. You keep making the same plays he's making on the fourth line. They keep the same type of work ethic and competitiveness, and then maybe some of his wingers finish off a few more of those chances. I'd love to be able to say, well, let's have Drury and Kelly and O'Connor as a line. As a fourth line, they played as much as our third line. It doesn't, it's just on all how I'm going to deploy him and who I'm going to deploy him against, right? It's a really strong line. I know that I can go back to that line right now and they'd be outstanding. But we need somebody to move up. So what does that look like? I don't know yet. Like, we'll figure that out through the course of watching our exhibition games. Like I said, we'll play with different guys there, different combinations. We got to find some chemistry on the third line because it's going to have to chip in offensively.
You mentioned Ross is another guy, you know, that you guys are looking at on that third line. You know, we were watching that first session. Someone in here said, "Man, Ross looks like he's kind of playing angry." We got down there and talked to him, and he said, "You know, I was chomping at the bit in the playoffs, having to sit in the press box."
Yeah.
He seems highly motivated. Just what's your assessment of where he's kind of coming into this season?
Well, I would agree with all that. I mean, and I like that. Like, I want all of our guys to be kind of a little angry and ready to go, and I think we are. So the thing is with Ross playing middle and Kelly playing middle, they both can do it. I know they can do it, and they can do it pretty well. The problem is Kelly, you know, look at his analytics, look at his game in Ottawa. Like, one of his major strengths is forecheck and how effective he is on the forecheck. Played center for us for half the season. We got Drury, we moved him to the wing, and immediately you saw the impact he could make on your forecheck and just how good that line was, right? So I don't want to take away that strength to put him in the middle of the ice. It's a little bit the same with Ross. He's really good at pushing out of the zone, and when the pucks go deep, he is all over the D, and he's a physical guy. He's disruptive. He creates a bunch of scoring chances off that. I think it helps get him involved in the game, as it does Kelly. So I move him to the middle, you lose that because you're arriving down low with your D, below the goal line, wings are taken off, pucks goes in, the wings are the guys that are going to forecheck first, 1 and 2, and the F3 is going to come up the ice, and it's generally your centerman. It's not all the time, but the bulk of the time that's the way it looks. So I don't want to take a guy and move him in there if we can explore options with, you know, the 3 young guys, and we can put one of them in at center and keep those guys on the wing would be ideal.
With Ivan, he spent half the year in the AHL, and then you look at his AHL numbers, and you know, I don't know, they didn't really jump off the page.
Yeah,
so
not
I guess
good
what
enough,
was the
yeah.
report from how?
Well, it wasn't good
last
enough
night?
when he went back down.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're hoping that you get a guy up here who played some really good games for us, was highly effective. They, you know, Cogs spent a lot of time with him, as did our coaching staff, on what else we need to see from him to be an everyday player. Some of it's just more physicality in the position. Then that's something he's got to work on, right? And then when you send him down, you want to see those areas improve, and you want to see him be productive, right? He scored more in the NHL than in the American League, you know. So that can be a good thing if he's playing in the NHL. But if he goes down, he's going to have to make sure that he's the guy that we're calling up, or that he's in the mix all the time, and trying to earn an everyday NHL position. It's not easy to do when you have a roster like we do. There's not a bunch of openings, and you know, their play's going to dictate it. I'm not going to decide it. CMAC's not going to decide it. Their play's going to decide it ultimately.
Last ones, guys.
You've always had kind of interchangeable top 6 wingers. I know it's day 1 of camp, but to swap Lehkonen and Val, is that just to get another look with Nelson, or what are you looking for there?
Yeah, I'm going to play them all. They're all going to play together. We're going to try and find chemistry in that top 6, top 9. But starting with the top 6, like who's playing. And we're going to, like, if I start Val and Marty with Mac, and they're playing real well, and I'm not getting enough out of Nelson, we'll move them around. You know, you got to weigh those pros and cons. We're going to experiment just like we do every first half of the season, and try to decide on something that makes sense where everybody's going, not just 1 line or 2 lines. We need all 4 lines going.
Another guy who seemed to jump off the page, Gavin Brindley, in
Yeah.
the rookie showcase.
Yeah.
Just overall kind of first impressions, seeing him and how he kind of fits into this organization.
Best offensive player in game 1 for me. Every time he touched a puck, he made a play. He works hard. He's got a great motor, competitive guy. And like today, that's 1 practice, right? But it didn't look like the pace, the pressure, the bigger bodies were a detriment to what he did in rookie camp. It looked like he was able to play at that pace. And so what happens is, like, in my opinion, is like You'll get guys that are really good in rookie camp. They may even look good in practice. You'll get them in exhibition. The first couple exhibition games against all the kids, they might look good, and then it's going to get stiffer competition as the exhibition goes on. They might not perform as well. It's kind of like where their limit is at that point. They're going to continue to develop, so they have to go Eagles, junior college, whatever it is, right? Some guys are just going to be able to continue to play impactful game against stiffer competition, and those are the guys that we want to keep.
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Come on over, get the room open.
Thanks, Brent.